Sefer Bamidbar is coming to a close. We're reading the last two parashas, Matot, Masei. We're going to say Chazak this week. And we're finishing the story of Bamidbar, the story of the Jews in the Midbar, the 40 years of the Midbar. And very interestingly, if we pay attention, in these parashas, many laws, many halachas, which are connected to the land of Eretz Yisrael, of getting the land of Eretz Yisrael. I'll give you a few examples. First of all, the story of Bnei Gad and Bnei Ruvain. We find in this week's parasha, they come and they say to Moshe Rabbeinu, we don't want our place to be in Eretz Yisrael, we want our place to be in Ever HaYarden, on the eastern border, with today's Jordan. We want our place to be over there. And then we have the story of the Orei Leviim, which is also in Parashat Masei, the land which is given to the Shevet Levi, because they don't get a portion in Eretz Yisrael, but they get certain cities in Eretz Yisrael. We have the exact borders of Eretz Yisrael. We have the halacha that there has to be a nasi of every shevet who ratifies the decision of Moshe Rabbeinu through the Geirel. When he picks the lottery, then there has to be the nasi who accepts that. And we also have the story of the Bnei Selafchad, which comes back in Matot, started in Parashat Minchas, comes back in Matot Masei. We want our place in the land. We also have the halachas of Yerusha, the halachas of inheritance, which is also called Nachla. Just like we Yarsha in Eretz Yisrael, we got our Yerusha in Eretz Yisrael, we got our estate in Eretz Yisrael. We have all the laws of the estate. The Gemara in Bava Basra says that the Nesiim were very important part of deciding the place in Eretz Yisrael, because if the Nasi wouldn't agree, he had to agree on behalf of his whole shevet. He was like a shliach of each of the Jews and his shevet to say, yes, we accept the decision of Moshe Rabbeinu through the Geirel that place is going to be ours. The Nasi had to ratify it. Without the Nasi, it wouldn't have been possible that each shevet got their place in Eretz Yisrael. Every Jew had to agree, and the shliach was there. The Nasi, the Nasi of every Sheva was their shliach in getting it. Furthermore, it says in Netziv, we see that this wasn't just some sort of agreement through Moshe, through the people, through the Nesiim. It was an agreement which was dictated by HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself through the Geirel. They had to pick a Geirel, and then the Geirel had to be accepted by the Nesiim. You're a little further from Yerushalayim, says the Netziv. You're a little closer to Yerushalayim. Everybody had to accept it, but in essence, it was decided by HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. Says the Netziv, we see from here, from all these parashas, from all these things, we see that our association with getting our portion of Eretz Yisrael is not just a piece of land, a piece of real estate. You got better real estate, you got worse real estate. Every Jew has to have real estate in Eretz Yisrael. There's something very, very deep going on. Our connection with the place in Eretz Yisrael where we live, where every shevet gets their portion in Eretz Yisrael. The Torah says that if the Yidden will not properly keep the mitzvahs in Eretz Yisrael, then the Shekhinah Kaviyachal Hashem says, I cannot live in Eretz Yisrael. I can't be in Eretz Yisrael. As we know, if the Shekhinah leaves, then we have Golus. Then Klal Yisrael also has to be exiled from Eretz Yisrael. Why is that? Why is it that if the Shekhinah is less in Eretz Yisrael than it is in other places? Why is it that when the Shekhinah leaves, then Klal Yisrael also has to leave? It says in Netziv, it's actually when we begin, when we says in Netziv, if we don't properly keep the Torah mitzvahs in Eretz Yisrael, then the Shekhinah Kaviyachal says Eretz Yisrael is not hailing enough for me to be there. Of course, ideally, the Shekhinah has to be in Eretz Yisrael. It's the land of the Beis HaMikdash. It's the land which has Kedusha in it, inherent Kedusha. It's the land which was promised to Avraham and Yaakov. But if the Yidden do not keep the Torah mitzvahs properly in Eretz Yisrael, the land Kaviyachal cannot accept the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah leaves. But the Shekhinah, even though it's preferable and ideal that the Shekhinah should be in Eretz Yisrael, but it's critical that the Shekhinah be among Klal Yisrael. So if the Shekhinah cannot be in Eretz Yisrael, Klal Yisrael also cannot be in Eretz Yisrael. The minute the land of Eretz Yisrael cannot accept the Shekhinah, at that moment the Yidden have to be exiled from Eretz Yisrael and have to be somewhere else where the Shekhinah can be among Klal Yisrael, not in Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael demands a much higher level of Kedusha, of Tara, of Shmiras HaMitzvahs than anywhere else in the world. So if the Shekhinah can't be in Eretz Yisrael, the Shekhinah has to be found among the Yidden who are living in Chutz La'aretz. The generations, our past generations, were witness to the fact that millions of Yidden coming back to Eretz Yisrael, definitely there's a sign over here that the land of Eretz Yisrael in some way is once again being able to accept the Shekhinah. If the Shekhinah would not be able to be in Eretz Yisrael, then millions of Yidden would not be able to be in Eretz Yisrael. Of course, we're very far from the Geula Shlema. We're waiting for the Binyan Beis HaMikdash, and when Klal Yisrael comes as a whole back to the Beis HaMikdash, back to their home, where the Shekhinah can be found completely in Eretz Yisrael. But even from the fact that in the situation of today, where millions of Yidden are coming back to Eretz Yisrael, we see that on some level the Shekhinah is able to be found in Eretz Yisrael among the Bata Midrashim, among the land of Eretz Yisrael, among the Yidden that are keeping Shmiras Torah mitzvahs. We have to be very careful, those who are in Eretz Yisrael. We just went through a period where even in the shuls we weren't allowed to come. We know the Gemara Bracha says that the shuls and chutzars have the status of Eretz Yisrael itself. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was telling us, I don't want you in the shuls even. Not only you can't travel to Eretz Yisrael, nobody was able to travel there, so I don't even want you to travel to the shuls. Now, Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling us you can go back. We have to be able to understand. We have to, once again, focus on the Kedusha of the Beis Knesset, of the Kedusha of the Beis Medrash, and also the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, of the land of Eretz Yisrael. It's not just another place, not just a piece of real estate. It's a place which demands a level of Kedusha and a level of Tahara. Now that we're entering Chodesh Av, the Chodesh of Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is a very sad day. It's a day of tainus. It's a day of avelus, but can also be the day of the great Yom Tiv of coming back to Eretz Yisrael. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring us back to Eretz Yisrael, bring us back to our land. As we say the words Chazak, Chazak Minis Chazek, we should be zeichen this month to go back to Eretz Yisrael, to be able to appreciate the Kedusha and the Tahara and the Shmiras Torah mitzvahs that Eretz Yisrael demands, that the land of Eretz Yisrael demands, so that the Shekhinah can come completely back to Eretz Yisrael, and with it, of course, all of the Nitchei Amei Yisrael, that we all return to Eretz Yisrael in this month of Av. This has been a short thought on Parashat Masei.